Welcome back to the channel The Coin Empire, the place where rare coins, hidden treasures, minting mysteries, and unbelievable pocket change stories come to life, and today we are diving into one of the most shocking stories in modern coin collecting history. The legendary 2011 D Lincoln 1-cent coin that many collectors believe could be worth an unbelievable $320 million because of rare minting errors, impossible mistakes, mysterious production flaws, and once-in-a-lifetime combinations that have turned an ordinary penny into a dream discovery for collectors across the United States and around the world. And if you think a single cent could never become more valuable than mansions, luxury cars, private jets, or even entire businesses, then stay tuned because the story behind this tiny copper-colored coin is filled with surprises, rumors, expert theories, hidden details, and fascinating possibilities that continue to excite treasure hunters everywhere, because the 2011 D penny is not just another coin sitting in a jar or hiding under couch cushions. It represents the idea that everyday change can contain life-changing wealth, and that somewhere out there a simple coin could completely transform the life of the person lucky enough to discover it. And the most incredible part is that millions of people may have already touched one without realizing its true value. Because rare error coins often look ordinary at first glance, but under magnification their secrets begin to reveal themselves, and the 2011 D Lincoln cent has become one of the most talked about modern coins because of the strange errors and unusual production possibilities connected to it, especially coins produced at the Denver Mint during a period when high-speed machinery, die fatigue, metal inconsistencies, and striking pressure problems occasionally created coins with extraordinary characteristics that collectors search for obsessively. And to understand why this coin could potentially reach such a massive value, you first need to understand how coins are made, because every single coin begins as a blank metal planchet that passes through powerful machines where dies stamp the design onto the surface with tremendous force, and when anything goes wrong during this process, the result can be an error coin, and sometimes those errors are minor and barely noticeable, but sometimes they are so dramatic and so rare that collectors are willing to pay astonishing amounts of money to own them, especially when multiple errors appear on the same coin, creating what experts call a perfect storm of rarity, and that is exactly why the 2011 D penny has gained such legendary attention among collectors who believe certain examples may contain combinations of errors never before seen on modern Lincoln cents, including doubled dies, off-center strikes, die clashes, missing clad layers, broad strikes, rotated dies, wrong planchet errors, die cracks, cuds, and even mysterious anomalies that remain unexplained to this day. And one of the biggest reasons collectors became obsessed with the 2011 D penny is because the Denver Mint produced billions of cents that year, meaning most people ignored them completely, but hidden among those billions may be a microscopic number of coins with extraordinary mistakes, and rarity is everything in coin collecting. Because when something is nearly impossible to find, collectors become desperate to own it, especially wealthy collectors who compete fiercely to obtain coins no one else has. And some experts believe the rumored ultra-rare 2011 D penny may contain an extreme double die error where the lettering, date, and Lincoln portrait show visible doubling caused by misalignment during die creation, and true double die coins are among the most famous and valuable error coins in American history, with some examples selling for hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars depending on rarity and condition. But what makes the rumored 2011 D examples even more fascinating is the possibility that some may include multiple minting errors combined together on a single coin, something so unusual that collectors describe it as nearly impossible, and when impossible things happen in coin collecting, prices can skyrocket beyond imagination because the market is driven by uniqueness, mystery, and demand. And imagine discovering a penny with dramatic doubling on the inscriptions, an off-center strike that leaves part of the design missing, a cracked die creating raised lines across Lincoln's face, and a rare bronze composition error all at the same time. That would instantly become one of the most famous modern error coins ever discovered, and collectors around the world would compete aggressively to own it, especially if only one example existed, because uniqueness creates legends, and legends create massive value. And another reason the 2011 D penny continues attracting attention is because of rumors involving transitional metal errors. Since Lincoln cents changed compositions over different years in American history, and occasionally the wrong metal blanks accidentally remain inside minting machines during production transitions, resulting in coins struck on incorrect planchets, and while 2011 pennies were supposed to be copper-plated zinc coins, collectors constantly search for examples struck on unusual metal compositions because even a small variation in weight can indicate an incredibly valuable mint mistake, and some collectors believe undiscovered experimental planchets or leftover blanks may have been used accidentally during production at the Denver Mint, creating coins with strange colors, unusual magnetic properties, or incorrect weights, and if a verified 2011 D penny were discovered on the wrong planchet with additional striking errors, its value could become astronomical because it would represent an extraordinary mint accident almost impossible to duplicate, and the condition of the coin also plays a huge role in value because collectors pay the highest prices for coins graded in near-perfect condition, especially coins certified by professional grading services, and a rare error coin in mint state condition with flawless surfaces, sharp details, and strong luster can command unbelievable amounts of money compared to worn examples, which is why collectors carefully inspect rolls of pennies from banks, old piggy banks, estate collections, and forgotten jars hoping to uncover untouched treasures, and sometimes the smallest details make the biggest difference, because a tiny doubling on the date, a faint die crack near Lincoln's shoulder, or an unusual rim shape could mean the difference between a coin worth 1 cent and a coin worth millions, and the excitement surrounding the 2011 D penny has only grown stronger over the years because social media, online auctions, and viral treasure hunting stories have inspired millions of people to check their change more carefully than ever before, and every time someone discovers a strange-looking penny online, collectors rush to examine the photos hoping it could be the next legendary error coin, and this excitement fuels even more interest, creating a cycle where demand, rumors, and speculation continue pushing the mystery of the 2011 D penny into the spotlight. And some collectors believe there may be secret undiscovered varieties still hidden inside circulation. Because not every error coin is identified immediately, and history has proven this many times before because famous rare coins have remained unnoticed for decades before finally being recognized by experts, and that possibility keeps collectors searching endlessly through rolls of pennies looking for tiny clues that others missed. And one especially fascinating theory surrounding the 2011 D penny involves severe die deterioration combined with machine doubling and strike pressure abnormalities that may have created coins with distorted lettering and stretched design elements unlike anything previously recorded, and while some experts dismiss these as minor machine errors, others argue that extreme examples could become highly collectible because unusual appearances often attract attention from specialized collectors. And there are also rumors of 2011 D pennies showing dramatic die clashes where the front and back dies smash together without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like impressions of the reverse design visible on Lincoln's portrait. Next 2010 D 1 cent coin. Today we are uncovering the unbelievable mystery surrounding a 2010 D 1 cent coin from the United States that collectors claim could be worth an astonishing $315 million because of rare minting errors, strange production mistakes, and hidden possibilities that transformed an ordinary penny into one of the most talked about modern coins in circulation. And while millions of people ignore pennies every single day, experienced coin hunters know that even the smallest cent can hide extraordinary secrets capable of turning pocket change into a fortune overnight because the world of rare coins is filled with stories of accidental treasures created inside the United States Mint during high-speed production, and the 2010 D Lincoln cent has become one of the most fascinating examples of how a tiny minting mistake can generate worldwide excitement among collectors, investors, and treasure hunters searching through rolls of coins hoping to discover a life-changing rarity hiding in plain sight, because the Denver Mint produced billions of these pennies during 2010, and whenever coins are struck in such massive numbers there is always a chance that mechanical problems, die failures, or human mistakes can slip through unnoticed, allowing rare error coins to escape into circulation where they may remain hidden for years before finally being discovered by someone with a sharp eye and knowledge of minting varieties. And that possibility is exactly why the 2010 D penny has become the center of intense speculation among collectors who believe certain rare examples may possess features never officially documented before, making them potentially unique and incredibly valuable to the numismatic community. And one of the most exciting possibilities involves double die errors where the design elements appear duplicated because the coin die received multiple misaligned impressions during creation, causing noticeable doubling on Lincoln's portrait, the date, the mint mark, or inscriptions like Liberty and In God We Trust, and collectors know that strong double die coins can command massive prices because these mistakes occur during the die-making process itself, meaning every coin struck from that defective die carries the same rare characteristics until the die is replaced. And if a dramatic double die variety were discovered on the 2010 D penny with exceptionally clear separation visible under magnification, the coin could instantly become one of the most important modern Lincoln cent discoveries ever made, especially if only a handful of examples existed in high grades, because rarity combined with popularity creates enormous demand in the coin market, and the Lincoln cent series remains one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States, meaning even minor varieties often attract huge attention from collectors around the world. But the mysteries surrounding the 2010 D penny do not stop there because many collectors also search for off-center strike errors where the coin was improperly positioned during striking, leaving part of the design missing and creating a dramatic blank area on one side, and depending on how far off-center the strike appears while still showing the full date and mint mark, these errors can become extremely desirable because every off-center strike is visually unique, making them highly collectible among error enthusiasts who appreciate unusual minting accidents, and some rumors suggest there may even be extreme off-center 2010 D pennies with nearly half the design missing yet still clearly identifiable, which would make such coins incredibly rare and valuable due to their striking appearance and low survival numbers, while another major possibility involves coins struck on the wrong planchet, one of the most famous and valuable categories of mint errors because these mistakes happen when a blank intended for another denomination or even another country accidentally enters the coin press and receives the design of a Lincoln cent, resulting in coins with unusual sizes, weights, colors, or metallic compositions unlike normal pennies, and collectors are fascinated by these wrong planchet errors because they reveal breakdowns in the mint's strict production system, meaning any authenticated example instantly becomes an object of intense interest, especially if the coin was struck sharply with clear details and preserved in excellent condition, and some experts believe that unusual 2010 D cents showing odd coloration or incorrect weight may still exist unnoticed in circulation waiting to be identified by lucky collectors who understand what to look for, and another powerful factor driving the legend of the $315 million penny is the possibility of mule errors, among the rarest mint mistakes ever discovered, where dies intended for completely different coins are accidentally paired together to create impossible combinations never meant to exist, and while confirmed mule cents are extraordinarily rare, the mere idea that a mysterious 2010 D penny could feature an undocumented mule pairing fuels endless excitement throughout the coin community because a discovery of that magnitude would immediately become front-page news in the numismatic world and potentially rewrite the record books for modern coins forever. And collectors constantly inspect Lincoln cents for unusual reverse designs, mismatched details, or anomalies suggesting something extraordinary occurred during production, because history has proven that unbelievable mint mistakes can and do happen despite strict quality control procedures, and another highly discussed possibility surrounding the 2010 D cent involves die cracks, shattered dies, and retained cuds where overused minting dies begin to fail under extreme pressure, creating raised lines, unusual lumps, or missing portions of the design on struck coins, and while small die cracks are relatively common, massive die failures producing dramatic visual effects are much rarer and often highly collectible because they provide a direct look into the intense mechanical stress experienced inside minting facilities. And some collectors dream of discovering a 2010 D penny with a spectacular die break so large it transforms the appearance of Lincoln's portrait or the reverse shield design into something completely different from ordinary cents, creating a coin unlike any other known example, while others search for broad strike errors where the restraining collar failed during striking, allowing the coin to expand beyond normal dimensions and produce strange oversized cents lacking proper rims, and these dramatic errors attract strong collector demand because they are instantly recognizable even to beginners, making them popular display pieces in high-end error collections. But perhaps the greatest source of fascination comes from the possibility that certain 2010 D pennies may possess multiple errors on the same coin, because when several minting mistakes occur together on a single piece the rarity increases dramatically, and collectors are often willing to pay enormous premiums for coins combining double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, or die breaks all at once because such combinations are extraordinarily difficult to produce accidentally, making them true minting anomalies. And condition also plays a massive role in determining value because modern coins are difficult to preserve perfectly due to contact marks, scratches, and handling during mass production, meaning a flawless mint state example with a major error could become virtually priceless if certified at the highest grade level by professional grading services, especially if it were the only known specimen of its type, because wealthy collectors compete fiercely for finest known examples in elite auctions. And whenever two determined buyers battle for ownership of a unique coin, the final sale price can rise far beyond normal expectations, creating headlines that fuel even more public interest in rare pennies and hidden treasures. And another reason the 2010 descent has gained such legendary status is because modern social media has amplified every rumor, discovery, and unusual coin photograph posted online, inspiring millions of people to examine their spare change closely in hopes of uncovering a hidden fortune. And videos about rare pennies regularly attract enormous audiences because the idea that a tiny coin worth 1 cent could secretly be worth millions captures the imagination like few other collectibles can, especially during times when people dream about finding unexpected wealth in ordinary places, and collectors know that many famous rarities were once dismissed as common coins before experts realized their true importance years later, which is why experienced numismatists never stop searching through rolls of cents from banks and circulation because new discoveries continue happening even today. And some enthusiasts believe undiscovered 2010D varieties may still exist in old jars, forgotten piggy banks, or unopened bankrolls waiting for the right person to recognize their significance, while others speculate about experimental dies, prototype strikes, or accidental proof like coins with mirror surfaces and unusually sharp details that escaped from the mint unnoticed, adding even more mystery to the story surrounding these pennies, because every unexplained feature creates another possibility for a once-in-a-lifetime discovery, and the Lincoln Cent series itself carries deep historical importance dating back more than a century, making collectors especially passionate about rare examples connected to this iconic American coin design. And when a modern penny combines historical appeal, dramatic errors, exceptional condition, and mysterious origins, the result is a coin capable of generating unbelievable excitement and speculation across the entire hobby, which is why the legend of the 2010D penny worth $315 million continues spreading among collectors and treasure hunters worldwide, because whether the ultimate example truly exists or remains hidden somewhere undiscovered, the dream itself keeps people searching through every handful of change with hope and curiosity, knowing that one extraordinary coin could completely change someone's life forever, and that endless possibility is what makes rare coin collecting one of the most thrilling hobbies in the world, where even the smallest penny can carry secrets worth fortunes beyond imagination waiting patiently to be revealed. Next, 2001 cent coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most unbelievable stories in modern coin collecting, the mysterious 2001 cent United States coin that some collectors and treasure hunters believe could be worth an incredible $310 million because of rare errors, strange minting mistakes, and hidden possibilities that transformed an ordinary penny into a legendary object of fascination. And while most people think pennies are nearly worthless and often leave them forgotten in jars, under couches, or inside old drawers, experienced collectors know that certain tiny details can turn a common coin into a fortune beyond imagination, because throughout American minting history there have been accidental coins created under unusual circumstances that later became some of the most valuable collectibles ever discovered. And the 2000 Lincoln Cent has become one of the most talked about examples because it was struck during a major transition period when the United States Mint was producing billions of coins at incredible speed to meet demand, increasing the chances that mistakes could slip through unnoticed and enter circulation where they might remain hidden for years before someone discovers their true importance. And that possibility is exactly why collectors continue searching through rolls of pennies from banks every single day, hoping to uncover a rare 2000 cent with features never before documented, because even the smallest minting abnormality can sometimes create enormous value if the error is rare enough and the coin survives in exceptional condition. And one of the most exciting possibilities connected to the 2000 penny involves double die errors, among the most famous and valuable mistakes in numismatics, where the coin die accidentally receives multiple impressions during creation at slightly different angles, causing noticeable doubling on letters, numbers, or design elements. And if a dramatic double die variety appeared on a 2000 penny, showing strong separation on the date, Liberty, or "I in God we trust," collectors would immediately recognize it as an important discovery because strong visible doubling is highly prized in the Lincoln Cent series, especially when only a small number of examples are known to exist, and since the Lincoln Cent remains one of the most collected coin series in American history. Even small varieties can create huge excitement and competition among buyers, driving prices into astonishing territory. Whenever a rare specimen appears at auction, but the mystery surrounding the 2000 penny goes even further because some collectors speculate about the possibility of off-metal strikes where a penny design was accidentally struck on a planchet intended for another denomination or foreign coinage, creating unusual pieces with incorrect colors, weights, or metallic compositions unlike ordinary copper-plated zinc cents, and these wrong planchet errors are considered some of the most fascinating mint mistakes because they reveal failures in the minting process that were never supposed to happen, making authenticated examples extraordinarily desirable among advanced collectors who appreciate the rarity and history behind such accidents. And some rumors claim that mysterious 2000 pennies with strange silver appearances or unusual thicknesses may actually be undiscovered off-metal strikes waiting to be authenticated by experts, which only adds to the growing legend surrounding this coin, while another major source of excitement involves off-center strike errors where the coin blank was not properly aligned during striking, leaving part of the design missing and creating a dramatic blank area on one side of the coin, and depending on how extreme the misalignment is while still keeping the date visible. Such coins can become highly collectible because each off-center strike is visually unique and impossible to duplicate exactly, and collectors love dramatic mint errors that can easily be recognized even by beginners because unusual appearance increases demand and public fascination, especially when the coin remains in uncirculated condition with strong original luster and minimal wear. But perhaps even more thrilling are the stories surrounding possible mule errors connected to the 2000 penny because mule coins occur when dies intended for completely different coins are accidentally paired together, creating impossible combinations never meant to exist, and throughout history some of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered have been mules because they represent extraordinary minting accidents that somehow escaped strict quality control procedures, and although no confirmed famous mule involving the 2000 cent has officially entered mainstream collecting lore, the possibility alone keeps collectors examining every detail carefully under magnification hoping to uncover a never-before-seen anomaly capable of rewriting modern numismatic history forever. Because one authenticated discovery could instantly make headlines worldwide and send collectors rushing to find similar examples, and another powerful factor contributing to the enormous rumored value of certain 2000 pennies is the possibility of rare die cracks, retained cuts, and shattered dies where the coin dies became damaged after prolonged use under extreme pressure inside minting machines, producing unusual raised lines, blobs, or distorted areas on struck coins, and while tiny die cracks are relatively common, major die failures creating dramatic visual effects are much rarer and often highly sought after because they provide a direct glimpse into the intense mechanical stress of coin production, and some collectors dream of finding a 2000 penny with a spectacular die break so severe that Lincoln's portrait or parts of the reverse design appear dramatically altered, creating a coin unlike any normal cent in circulation, while others search for broad strike errors caused when the retaining collar failed during striking, allowing the coin to spread outward beyond its normal shape and size, producing strange oversized cents without proper rims, and these dramatic minting accidents are especially popular among error collectors because they clearly demonstrate how something went wrong during production, turning an ordinary coin into a unique collectible piece of history. And some enthusiasts believe that certain 2000 pennies may contain multiple mint errors at once, which would increase their rarity and value tremendously because coins displaying several major errors simultaneously are extraordinarily uncommon and highly prized among advanced collectors who seek one-of-a-kind specimens no other person can own, and whenever a coin combines dramatic visual appeal with extreme rarity and historical mystery, its value can rise to unbelievable levels due to competition between wealthy buyers determined to secure ownership of the finest or most unusual examples known, especially when the coin receives a top-condition grade from professional certification companies because modern coins are difficult to preserve perfectly due to contact marks and damage during mass production, meaning flawless mint state examples with significant errors can become incredibly rare, and if a unique 2000 penny with a major mint mistake achieved one of the highest possible grades, collectors might view it as the ultimate modern Lincoln cent treasure, pushing speculative values into the hundreds of millions due to its uniqueness and publicity. And another reason the legend of the $310 million penny continues growing is because social media and online videos have dramatically increased public interest in rare coins, spreading stories of valuable pocket change to millions of viewers around the world who suddenly begin checking their own coins for hidden treasures. And every time someone posts photographs of an unusual penny online, discussions explode among collectors trying to determine whether the coin represents a genuine mint error or simply damage caused after circulation, creating endless excitement and speculation that keeps the hobby alive and constantly evolving, because people love the idea that an ordinary object sitting unnoticed in a drawer could secretly hold extraordinary value. And the 2000 penny fits perfectly into that dream, since billions were produced and many remain in circulation even today, meaning there is always a chance that undiscovered rarities are still waiting to be found in old jars, bank rolls, or forgotten collections, and some experts even speculate about prototype strikes, experimental dies, or accidental proof-like examples with unusually reflective surfaces that may have escaped from the mint unnoticed during production, adding even more mystery to the story surrounding this coin, because every unexplained detail creates another possibility for a groundbreaking discovery, and collectors know from experience that many famous rarities were overlooked for years before finally being recognized, which is why serious numismatists continue studying even modern pennies carefully, because history proves that hidden treasures can emerge long after coins first enter circulation, and the Lincoln cent series itself carries enormous historical significance dating back more than a century, making rare examples especially desirable to collectors who appreciate the combination of American history, artistry, and minting technology represented by these tiny coins. And when a coin from such a beloved series develops unusual characteristics, dramatic errors, or mysterious origins, public fascination can grow rapidly as collectors compete to uncover the next great discovery, which is exactly why the legend of the 2001 cent coin worth $310 million continues spreading across the coin world, because whether or not such a perfect specimen has already been found, the dream that one may still exists somewhere keeps millions of people searching through every handful of spare change with excitement and hope, knowing that a simple penny could potentially become the greatest hidden treasure of modern coin collecting and change someone's life forever through the power of rare mistakes and extraordinary minting accidents hidden inside ordinary everyday money. Next, 2006 D1 cent coin. Today we are exploring one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of rare coin collecting, the mysterious 2006 D1 cent coin from the United States that collectors believe could be worth an astonishing $305 million because of rare minting errors, shocking production mistakes, and hidden possibilities that transformed an ordinary penny into a legendary modern treasure hunted by collectors all around the world. And while most people see pennies as almost worthless pocket change, tossed into jars, left in drawers, or forgotten inside old wallets, experienced coin hunters know that even the smallest cent can contain incredible secrets capable of creating life-changing wealth overnight, because throughout history some of the most valuable coins ever discovered started as ordinary circulation pieces before experts realized unusual errors or strange minting characteristics made them incredibly rare and desirable. And the 2006 D penny has become one of the most talked about modern Lincoln cents because it was produced during a period of massive coin manufacturing at the Denver Mint, where billions of coins were struck at extremely high speed, increasing the possibility that unusual mistakes slipped through quality control and entered circulation unnoticed. And that possibility alone has inspired collectors everywhere to inspect every 2006 D penny they can find, searching for signs of rare errors, strange varieties, and unexplained features that could transform a 1 cent coin into a historic collectible worth unimaginable money, because when minting machinery operates continuously under enormous pressure, tiny mechanical failures, die misalignments, or planchet problems can produce coins unlike any others, and sometimes those accidental creations survive long enough to become legendary rarities in the numismatic world. And one of the most exciting possibilities connected to the 2006 D penny involves double die errors, among the most famous and valuable mint mistakes ever discovered, because these errors happen during the die creation process when the design is impressed more than once at slightly different angles, causing letters, numbers, and design elements to appear doubled on the final coin. And collectors know that dramatic double dies can become extremely valuable, especially within the Lincoln cent series, where enthusiasts carefully inspect every date and mint mark for signs of visible separation in the lettering or Lincoln's portrait. And if a powerful double die variety were discovered on the 2006 D penny showing clear doubling on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, or the date itself, collectors would instantly recognize it as a major discovery capable of attracting worldwide attention because strong visible doubling is one of the most sought-after features in coin collecting, especially when only a tiny number of examples are known to exist, and rarity combined with strong collector demand is exactly what pushes coin values into extraordinary territory. But the fascination surrounding the 2006 D penny goes far beyond double dies because many collectors believe some examples may have been struck on the wrong planchet, one of the most dramatic and valuable minting errors possible, where a penny design accidentally appears on a blank intended for another denomination or even a foreign coin, creating coins with unusual weight, size, color, or metal composition unlike ordinary copper-plated zinc cents, and these wrong planchet errors are incredibly important because they reveal serious breakdowns in mint procedures that were never supposed to happen, making authenticated examples highly desirable among advanced collectors who appreciate the rarity and mystery behind such accidents, and rumors continue spreading through the coin community about unusual 2006 D pennies with silver-like appearances, strange thicknesses, or incorrect weights that may actually represent undiscovered off-metal strikes waiting for expert authentication. While other collectors focus their attention on off-center strike errors where the coin blank was improperly positioned during the striking process causing part of the design to miss the planchet entirely and leaving dramatic blank spaces on the coin surface, and depending on how far off-center the strike appears while still retaining the visible date and mint mark, these coins can become extraordinarily valuable because each example is unique and visually striking, making them highly collectible among error enthusiasts who love coins that clearly display minting failures in dramatic ways, and some experts believe there may be extremely rare 2006 D off-center pennies showing such severe misalignment that nearly half the coin design is missing, which would instantly make them stand out as major error pieces with enormous collector appeal. But perhaps the greatest mystery connected to the 2006 D penny involves the possibility of undiscovered mule errors, where dies intended for completely different coins were accidentally paired together during production, creating impossible combinations never meant to exist, and throughout coin collecting history mule errors have become some of the rarest and most valuable coins ever discovered because they represent extraordinary accidents that somehow escaped the mint despite strict quality control procedures. And although no officially famous mule involving the 2006 D cent has become widely recognized, collectors continue examining these pennies carefully hoping to uncover an example with mismatched designs or unusual reverse details capable of rewriting modern numismatic history forever, because if a true mule cent from 2006 D were authenticated it could instantly become one of the most important modern coin discoveries ever made, drawing intense competition from wealthy collectors eager to own a unique piece of minting history. And another fascinating possibility involves dramatic die cracks, shattered dies, and retained cuds where overused dies begin breaking apart under the extreme force of continuous coin production, creating raised lines, blobs, or distorted areas on struck coins that appear completely different from normal pennies, and while tiny die cracks are common, massive die failures producing large visible distortions are far rarer and often highly prized because they reveal the exact moment when minting equipment began failing during production, and collectors love dramatic examples where parts of Lincoln's portrait or the reverse design appear altered or partially missing due to severe die damage because such coins tell a visual story of mechanical breakdown inside the mint itself, while others search for broad strike errors caused when the retaining collar fails during striking, allowing the coin to spread outward beyond normal dimensions and produce oversized pennies without proper rims. And these unusual coins are extremely popular because their strange appearance immediately captures attention even from people unfamiliar with coin collecting, making them exciting conversation pieces as well as valuable collectibles. And some enthusiasts believe the most valuable 2006 D penny would likely combine multiple errors at once because coins displaying several minting mistakes simultaneously are exceptionally rare and often considered the ultimate treasures of error collecting, meaning a coin with doubling, an off-center strike, and a wrong planchet altogether could theoretically achieve unbelievable value if authenticated and preserved in exceptional condition, especially if it were the only known example of its kind because uniqueness plays a massive role in determining the value of elite collectible coins. And when wealthy collectors compete for ownership of one-of-a-kind pieces, prices can climb to levels ordinary people never imagined possible for a simple penny, and another reason the 2006 cent generates so much excitement is because condition matters enormously in the modern coin market, since billions of coins were produced for circulation and most examples quickly became scratched, damaged, or worn, making flawless mint state examples increasingly difficult to locate. And if a rare error coin also survives in nearly perfect condition certified by professional grading companies at the highest levels, collectors may consider it the finest known specimen and compete aggressively to obtain it, driving values far beyond ordinary expectations due to rarity and prestige, and some collectors even speculate about the existence of proof like 2006 cents with unusually reflective surfaces and razor-sharp details created accidentally through polished dies or experimental production techniques. Because whenever a coin possesses unusual visual qualities beyond normal circulation strikes, it gains additional attention from specialists who study subtle differences in minting characteristics, while others hunt for strike-through errors where grease, cloth, metal fragments, or foreign debris interfered with the minting process, leaving strange missing details or unusual impressions on the coin surface. And these errors are fascinating because they provide direct evidence of foreign material entering the striking chamber during production, creating coins with appearances unlike anything intentionally produced by the mint. And some collectors dream of discovering a dramatic strike-through on a 2006 penny where part of Lincoln's face or the lettering vanished entirely due to interference during striking, while others search for clipped planchet errors where portions of the blank coin were missing before striking, producing curved or straight missing sections that create instantly recognizable and highly collectible coins. And because each clipped planchet is unique in shape and severity, collectors often pay strong premiums for unusual examples, especially when the strike remains sharp and the date fully visible. While another major source of fascination surrounding the 2006 penny involves rotational errors where the reverse design appears misaligned relative to the obverse when the coin is flipped, creating unusual orientation problems that collectors carefully inspect for because significant rotations are considered mint mistakes rather than ordinary damage. And even relatively small rotational errors can generate strong collector interest when paired with additional varieties or exceptional condition. While some enthusiasts believe hidden transitional errors may also exist among 2006 pennies because coin composition and manufacturing processes sometimes change over time, creating opportunities for accidental leftover materials or experimental blanks. Next, 1974 1-cent coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most mysterious and fascinating stories in the world of coin collecting, the legendary 1974 Lincoln 1-cent coin that many collectors and treasure hunters believe could potentially be worth an astonishing $300 million because of its rare errors, strange minting mistakes, mysterious production flaws, and incredible possibilities that continue to shock the numismatic world even decades after it was first produced. And if you have ever ignored a penny lying on the ground or tossed loose change into a jar without thinking twice, this story may completely change the way you look at every single coin that passes through your hands, because the truth is that some of the rarest and most valuable coins in history once circulated unnoticed among ordinary people, and the 1974 1-cent coin has become one of those legendary pieces that fuels dreams of discovering unimaginable wealth hidden in plain sight, because although billions of pennies were produced during the 1970s, only a tiny handful may contain the rare combinations of minting errors and production anomalies that make collectors willing to pay extraordinary amounts of money for a single coin. And what makes this coin even more exciting is that many experts believe some of the rarest examples may still be undiscovered, sitting forgotten inside old jars, family collections, bank rolls, drawers, piggy banks, or inherited boxes of coins waiting for someone to notice the hidden details that could change their life forever. And to truly understand why the 1974 penny has captured the imagination of collectors around the world, you first need to understand the incredible process of coin production and how even the smallest mistake at the mint can create a coin so rare that it becomes a historical treasure. Because every Lincoln cent begins as a blank metal disc called a planchet, and these planchets are fed into giant presses where engraved dies strike the coin design with enormous pressure. But when something goes wrong during this process, the results can create error coins unlike anything intended by the United States Mint, and sometimes those mistakes are minor and barely noticeable, but other times they create dramatic abnormalities that transform an ordinary penny into one of the most valuable collectibles on Earth, especially when several errors appear together on the same coin, creating an extremely rare combination that collectors call a Perfect mint accident, and this is where the mystery of the 1974 1-cent coin truly begins, because over the years collectors have discovered unusual examples with strange doubling, off-center strikes, die cracks, weak details, clipped planchets, broad strikes, rotated dies, and unusual coloration that suggests certain production runs at the mint may have experienced serious mechanical or metal-related problems, and when collectors hear stories about coins with impossible combinations of errors, excitement spreads quickly throughout the numismatic community because everyone dreams of discovering the next legendary rarity that could rewrite the history books, and some experts believe the most valuable 1974 pennies may involve extremely rare double die errors where the design elements appear duplicated because of mistakes during die creation, causing the lettering, numbers, and Lincoln portrait to appear doubled under magnification, and double die coins are among the most famous and valuable error coins in American history because they are true mint-made varieties rather than post-mint damage, and when the doubling is strong and obvious, collectors become extremely interested because those coins are considered legitimate mint rarities that cannot be easily duplicated, and rumors surrounding rare 1974 double die cents have inspired countless collectors to inspect every detail of their coins using magnifying glasses, digital microscopes, and bright lighting searching for hidden doubling on the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date itself, because one tiny detail can completely change the value of a coin, and some collectors believe there may be undiscovered double die varieties from 1974 that have never been officially documented, making the hunt even more exciting because the possibility of finding something entirely new still exists decades later. And another major reason the 1974 penny has gained legendary status involves rumors surrounding experimental metal compositions and transitional planchet errors, because during different periods in American coinage history the mint experimented with alternative metals due to rising copper prices and concerns about production costs, and some collectors believe that certain rare 1974 pennies may have been accidentally struck on unusual planchets intended for testing or leftover from experimental batches, and if a verified 1974 cent were discovered on the wrong metal composition combined with dramatic minting errors, its value could become almost unimaginable because such a coin would represent an extremely rare piece of mint history that should never have existed in circulation at all, and throughout coin collecting history some of the most valuable coins have been mistakes involving the wrong metal blanks, because these errors are incredibly difficult to produce accidentally and often escape detection at the mint, making surviving examples extraordinarily rare, and many collectors carefully weigh their 1974 pennies searching for unusual examples that differ from the standard weight because even a small variation can indicate a wrong planchet error or an unusual composition, and if the coin also displays strong visual abnormalities such as off-center striking or die doubling, its rarity increases dramatically. And one of the most fascinating things about the 1974 penny is that collectors continue debating the possibility of aluminum transitional cents connected to that era, because the United States Mint famously experimented with aluminum pennies during the early 1970s in response to rising metal prices, and although most of those experimental coins were supposedly destroyed or returned, rumors have persisted for decades that a few examples may still exist outside government control, and the mere possibility of a rare transitional aluminum cent connected to the 1974 period has fueled endless speculation among collectors because such a discovery would instantly become one of the most important modern coin finds in history, and even though official stories claim those coins are nearly impossible to own legally, the mystery itself keeps collectors fascinated because coin history is filled with unexpected discoveries that experts once believed impossible, and this constant uncertainty creates excitement because every collector secretly hopes to uncover a coin no one else realized existed, and condition also plays an enormous role in determining value because collectors pay the highest prices for coins preserved in near-perfect condition, especially examples with strong luster, sharp details, original surfaces, and minimal wear, and professional grading companies carefully evaluate rare coins using strict standards, assigning grades that can dramatically affect market value. And a rare error coin in mint state condition can sell for many times more than the same coin in worn condition because collectors competing for elite collections demand the best examples available, and this is why many treasure hunters search unopened bank rolls and old collections hoping to find untouched 1974 pennies that survive decades without damage, because an extraordinary error coin preserved in pristine condition could become one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered. And collectors are especially fascinated by dramatic off-center strike errors from the 1970s because these coins clearly reveal the minting mistake to the naked eye. With parts of the design missing while blank space appears on one side of the coin, and when the date remains visible on a dramatically off-center coin, collectors become even more interested because the coin can still be identified while displaying a spectacular mint error, and if a rare 1974 off-center strike also contains doubling or unusual metal characteristics, its uniqueness increases tremendously because the odds of multiple mint mistakes occurring together are incredibly small, and rarity combined with visual appeal is one of the most powerful forces in coin collecting because collectors love coins that immediately stand out and tell a fascinating story, and another possibility that continues exciting collectors involves die cracks and cuds on 1974 pennies, because minting dies eventually wear out after striking huge numbers of coins, and when the dies begin breaking apart they can leave raised lines, blobs, or missing sections on the coin design, creating unusual appearances that collectors eagerly search for, and some dramatic cut errors appear almost like pieces of the coin are melting or exploding outward, making them especially popular among error coin enthusiasts because each one is unique depending on how the die broke during production, and certain advanced collectors specialize entirely in studying die states and progressive die deterioration, carefully documenting how minting dies changed over time, and some believe extremely late-stage die failures on 1974 pennies may still be undiscovered in circulation because billions of coins were produced and only a fraction have been closely examined by experts, and another fascinating area of interest involves clipped planchet errors where part of the metal blank was missing before striking, resulting in curved missing sections along the edge of the coin. And these errors occur during the blank punching process at the mint, and authentic examples show distinctive pressure marks proving they were created during production rather than damaged afterward, and if a rare 1974 penny with dramatic clips, strong doubling, and high-grade preservation surfaced at auction, collectors would likely compete fiercely for ownership because such combinations are exceptionally difficult to find, and the idea of a penny being worth hundreds of millions of dollars may sound impossible to ordinary people, but within the world of elite coin collecting, rarity and uniqueness often matter more than the face value or metal content of the coin itself, because collectors are not buying the coin simply as money, they are buying history, mystery, rarity, prestige, and the thrill of next 2002 1-cent coin. Today we are diving into the fascinating mystery of the 2002 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a coin that many collectors believe could potentially be worth an unbelievable $290 million because of rare errors, strange minting mistakes, unusual production flaws, and extraordinary possibilities that transformed what appears to be a simple penny into one of the most talked about modern coins in the world of coin collecting, and if you think a single cent could never become more valuable than mansions, luxury cars, or giant business empires, then prepare to be amazed because the world of rare coins has repeatedly proven that tiny minting mistakes can create fortunes almost overnight. And the 2002 penny has become legendary among treasure hunters because hidden among the billions produced that year may exist a tiny number of coins with impossible combinations of errors so rare and mysterious that collectors across the world continue searching for them every single day, hoping to uncover a discovery that could completely change their lives forever. And one of the reasons the 2002 penny attracts so much attention is because modern coins are often ignored by ordinary people, meaning rare examples can remain hidden in circulation for years before someone notices their true importance, and history has shown many times that some of the most valuable coins in existence once passed through cash registers, piggy banks, jars of loose change, and ordinary wallets completely unnoticed, and that possibility is exactly what makes the 2002 penny such an exciting coin for collectors because somewhere out there a rare example with dramatic minting errors could still be hiding in plain sight waiting for the lucky person who finally recognizes its extraordinary value, and to understand why collectors are so fascinated by this coin, you first need to understand how coins are made, because every Lincoln cent begins as a blank metal disc called a planchet, and these planchets are fed into massive minting presses where engraved dies strike the design into the metal using incredible pressure, but when something goes wrong during this complicated process, the result can be a mint error coin, and sometimes those mistakes are small and difficult to notice while other times they are dramatic enough to create one-of-a-kind treasures worth enormous amounts of money. And collectors believe the rarest 2002 pennies may involve combinations of double dies, off-center strikes, die cracks. Clipped planchets, broad strikes, die clashes, rotated dies, and unusual metal compositions that should never have existed in normal circulation, and when multiple errors appear together on a single coin, the rarity increases dramatically because the chances of several mint mistakes happening at the same time are extremely small, and this is one of the biggest reasons why rumors surrounding rare 2002 pennies continue spreading throughout the coin collecting world, because collectors dream of discovering a unique example unlike anything ever seen before, and one of the most important possibilities involves double die errors where the design appears duplicated because of mistakes during the creation of the coin die itself, causing lettering, numbers, and design elements to show visible doubling under magnification. And true double die coins are among the most respected and valuable mint errors in American coin collecting history because they represent genuine production varieties. Rather than damage caused after the coin left the mint, and collectors carefully inspect 2002 pennies searching for unusual doubling on the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date because even a small amount of strong doubling can turn an ordinary penny into a highly collectible rarity. And some collectors believe undiscovered double die varieties from 2002 may still exist because billions of pennies were produced that year and only a small percentage have been examined closely by experts. And another fascinating possibility involves off-center strike errors where the coin blank was not properly aligned during striking, causing part of the design to be missing while blank metal appears along one edge of the coin, and these errors are especially popular because they are immediately visible and visually dramatic, especially when the date remains readable despite the off-center strike. And if a rare 2002 penny were discovered with a strong off-center strike combined with another major error such as doubling or unusual composition, its uniqueness could make it one of the most valuable modern pennies ever discovered, and collectors are also fascinated by the possibility of wrong planchet errors where a penny was accidentally struck on a metal blank intended for another denomination or experimental purpose. Because some of the most famous coins in American history became valuable precisely because they were struck on the wrong type of metal, and during periods of high production pressure at the mint. Mistakes involving incorrect planchets occasionally happen when leftover blanks from different production lines accidentally enter the presses, and collectors constantly weigh and inspect 2002 pennies looking for unusual examples with incorrect weight, strange color, or odd magnetic properties that could indicate rare composition errors. Because even a tiny difference in metal content can completely transform the importance and value of a coin, and another major reason collectors remain obsessed with the 2002 penny involves die clashes, which happen when the front and back dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like impressions and strange marks hidden within the design, and strong die clash errors are extremely collectible because they reveal evidence of the powerful minting machinery malfunctioning during production. And if a dramatic die clash penny from 2002 also displayed additional errors such as die cracks or broad striking, collectors would likely consider it a major rarity, and the condition of the coin also plays a massive role in determining value because collectors pay the highest premiums for coins preserved in near-perfect mint state grades with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal wear. And professional grading companies authenticate and evaluate these coins carefully because condition can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and a coin worth a fortune, and this is why many treasure hunters search through unopened bank rolls and carefully stored collections hoping to discover untouched 2002 pennies that survived in pristine condition, because an extraordinary mint error combined with flawless preservation could create one of the most famous modern penny discoveries ever seen. And another reason the 2002 penny continues fascinating collectors is because the early 2000s represented a time of massive coin production in the United States, meaning mint machinery was operating continuously at high speeds, and whenever production increases, the chances of mistakes, die wear, misalignment, and unnoticed errors also increase, creating opportunities for rare coins to escape into circulation, and some advanced collectors believe certain 2002 pennies may show unusual die deterioration patterns that create distorted lettering, stretched details, or strange textures unlike ordinary coins, and while casual observers might overlook these tiny differences, experienced collectors understand that subtle anomalies can sometimes indicate extremely important varieties worth enormous amounts of money, and another exciting aspect of the 2002 penny mystery is the possibility that undiscovered examples are still circulating today because pennies are so common and often ignored. Meaning valuable coins can remain hidden for decades before anyone realizes what they are, and countless stories exist of collectors finding rare coins inside ordinary change jars. Inherited boxes, garage sales, flea markets, and bank rolls, proving that life-changing discoveries really can happen in everyday life, and this possibility is what keeps millions of collectors and treasure hunters searching their coins more carefully every year because the next legendary rarity could appear at any moment. And social media and online coin communities have made this excitement even stronger by allowing collectors worldwide to instantly share discoveries and compare unusual coins. And every time someone posts photos of a strange-looking 2002 penny, collectors rush to analyze the images hoping it might be a previously unknown error or variety, and this constant exchange of discoveries has helped turn the 2002 penny into a modern legend among coin enthusiasts, because the more people search, the more possibilities emerge. And another category that excites collectors involves die cracks and cuts where damaged dies create raised lines or missing sections on the coin design. And some late-stage die failures produce dramatic visual effects that make coins appear almost melted or broken, creating unique appearances highly desired by error coin collectors, and because every damaged die evolves differently over time, certain error coins become completely unique with patterns unlike any others in existence. And collectors love this uniqueness because rarity is one of the most powerful forces driving coin values higher, and although the idea of a penny reaching values near $290 million may sound unbelievable to most people, the world of elite coin collecting has repeatedly shown that wealthy collectors are willing to spend enormous fortunes on one-of-a-kind rarities with fascinating stories and impossible minting histories, because they are not simply buying metal, they are buying mystery, history, prestige, and the thrill of owning something that nobody else can easily possess. And the 2002 penny perfectly represents this dream because it combines modern accessibility with the possibility of hidden rarity, allowing ordinary people to imagine that a fortune could still be hiding inside everyday pocket change, and perhaps right now somewhere in the world a rare 2002 Lincoln cent with extraordinary errors and unbelievable characteristics is sitting unnoticed inside a dusty jar, forgotten drawer, or old collection waiting for someone to finally discover it. And if that moment ever happens, the discovery could become one of the greatest modern coin stories ever told, proving once again that even the smallest and most overlooked coin can hold mysteries valuable enough to capture the imagination of collectors around the entire world and inspire generations of treasure hunters to keep searching for hidden fortunes hiding in plain sight. Next, 1999 1-cent coin. Today we are exploring one of the most astonishing modern penny legends ever discussed in the world of coin collecting, the mysterious 1999 Lincoln 1-cent coin that many collectors and treasure hunters believe could potentially be worth an unbelievable $297 million because of rare minting errors, impossible mistakes, unusual production flaws, and hidden varieties that transformed what appears to be an ordinary penny into one of the most talked about coins in modern numismatic history. And if you have ever walked past a penny on the sidewalk, emptied loose change into a jar, or ignored old coins sitting in drawers around your house, this story may completely change the way you see every single coin from now on, because the truth is that some of the most valuable coins in the world once looked completely ordinary before experts realized the rare mistakes hiding within them. And the idea that a single cent could someday be worth more than luxury mansions, sports cars, private islands, or even massive business empires may sound impossible, but in the fascinating world of rare coins, impossible discoveries happen far more often than people realize, and the 1999 penny has become one of those legendary coins surrounded by mystery, rumors, collector obsession, and incredible possibilities because of the strange errors and unusual production anomalies associated with certain examples struck during that year, especially coins produced during periods of intense mint activity when massive numbers of pennies were being created every single day at incredible speeds, because whenever the United States Mint operates under high production pressure, the chances for mistakes increase, and while most errors are caught or destroyed before coins leave the mint, a tiny number sometimes escape into circulation where they remain hidden for years before someone finally discovers them. And that possibility is what makes the 1999 1-cent coin so exciting for collectors around the world, because somewhere out there, hidden in ordinary circulation or forgotten inside old collections, there may still exist undiscovered examples with extraordinary combinations of minting errors capable of stunning the entire numismatic community, and to understand why collectors are so fascinated by the 1999 penny, you first need to understand how coins are produced and how even the smallest mistake during manufacturing can create an object of enormous rarity and value, because every Lincoln cent begins as a blank metal disc known as a planchet, and those planchets travel through giant industrial presses where engraved dies strike the coin designs into the metal with tremendous force, but when anything goes wrong during this process, the result can be a mint error coin, and some errors are tiny and barely visible while others are dramatic enough to completely change the appearance of the coin itself. And the most valuable error coins are often those with unusual combinations of mistakes that were never intended to happen together, because rarity and uniqueness drive the coin market to astonishing heights, and many collectors believe the most valuable 1999 pennies may involve strong double die errors, dramatic off-center strikes, rare transitional anomalies, die clashes, broad strikes, clipped planchets, or unusual metal compositions that should never have existed in normal circulation, and among these possibilities, double die errors remain one of the most famous and sought-after categories because they occur during the creation of the coin dies themselves, meaning every coin struck from that die carries the same duplicated design details, and when the doubling is strong enough to be visible on the date, lettering, or Lincoln portrait, collectors become extremely interested because true double die varieties are legitimate mint-made rarities with historical importance, and rumors surrounding certain rare 1999 double die pennies have inspired thousands of collectors to examine their coins carefully under magnification, searching for tiny signs of duplication on the words Liberty, Indiana, God We Trust, and the date itself, because even the smallest doubling can transform an ordinary coin into something highly collectible. And some experts believe undiscovered double die varieties from 1999 may still exist because billions of pennies were produced that year and only a small fraction have been carefully examined by specialists, and this possibility fuels endless excitement among treasure hunters who dream of uncovering the next major discovery hidden in plain sight, and one of the reasons the 1999 penny has gained such legendary attention is because the late 1990s represented a fascinating period for the United States Mint, with enormous coin production demands and rapidly evolving minting technology creating opportunities for unusual mistakes and production inconsistencies, and during times of intense production, mint machinery experiences extreme stress, dies wear down quickly, and minor misalignments can create unusual striking abnormalities that collectors later identify as valuable mint errors, and some advanced collectors believe certain batches of 1999 pennies may have been struck using deteriorating dies that produce strange visual effects such as stretched lettering, distorted features, unusual texture patterns, or ghost-like design impressions, and while casual observers might overlook these differences completely, experienced numismatists understand that subtle anomalies can sometimes indicate extremely important varieties worth huge amounts of money, and another major reason collectors obsess over the 1999 penny involves rumors of transitional metal and wrong planchet errors, because throughout coin history some of the most valuable coins were accidentally struck on incorrect metal blanks intended for other denominations or experimental testing, and whenever rising metal prices or production concerns affect the mint, there is always the possibility that unusual test planchets, leftover blanks, or incorrect materials accidentally enter production lines, creating coins that should never officially exist, and if a genuine 1999 penny were discovered struck on an unusual planchet while also displaying dramatic minting errors, its value could become extraordinary because such combinations are exceptionally rare and historically significant, and collectors constantly weigh and examine 1999 pennies searching for unusual examples with incorrect mass, strange coloration, or unexpected magnetic properties that might indicate rare composition errors, because even a tiny difference in weight can completely change the importance of a coin, and another fascinating possibility surrounding rare 1999 pennies involves die clashes, which occur when the front and back dies strike each other without a blank planchet between them, causing faint impressions of one design to transfer onto the opposite die, and later coins struck from those damaged dies can display ghost-like outlines and mysterious shapes hidden beneath the normal design, and strong die clash errors are especially popular among collectors because they provide direct evidence of the violent mechanical process happening inside minting presses. And if a dramatic 1999 die clash penny were discovered with additional errors such as doubling or off-center striking, its rarity would increase tremendously. Because multi-error coins are among the most prized treasures in the hobby, and the idea that a penny could reach values approaching hundreds of millions of dollars may seem unbelievable to outsiders, but the coin collecting world operates according to rarity, demand, historical significance, and uniqueness rather than simple metal value, because collectors are not merely purchasing a coin, they are purchasing a piece of history, a mystery, a story, and often a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to own something that almost nobody else can ever possess, and throughout history wealthy collectors have spent fortunes competing for the rarest coins because owning legendary numismatic pieces becomes a symbol of prestige, passion, and exclusivity. And the 1999 penny continues attracting attention precisely because it represents the modern dream that another legendary rarity may still be hidden somewhere in everyday circulation, waiting for discovery by an ordinary person who simply noticed details others ignored, and stories of people finding valuable coins in pocket change, inherited collections, or bankrolls continue inspiring millions of people worldwide to search their pennies more carefully than ever before, because everyone secretly hopes they might stumble upon a coin capable of changing their life forever, and many collectors remember famous historical examples like the 1955 double-die cent, the 1943 bronze cent, and other legendary Lincoln penny rarities that became worth enormous fortunes because of tiny mint mistakes, proving that extraordinary coin values are not just fantasy but real possibilities supported by numismatic history, and this historical context gives even more power to the legend of the 1999 penny because collectors understand that modern rarities can emerge unexpectedly decades after coins enter circulation, and every year new discoveries continue appearing as collectors use advanced imaging technology, digital microscopes, and online communities to study coins in greater detail than ever before, and some specialists believe previously overlooked 1999 varieties may eventually gain recognition as important rarities once enough examples are studied and documented, and the internet has dramatically increased awareness of coin collecting by allowing collectors worldwide to share discoveries instantly, meaning strange-looking pennies that might once have been ignored now receive detailed analysis from experts across the globe. And this rapid exchange of information has helped fuel intense fascination surrounding unusual 1999 pennies because every new photo or discovery raises questions about what other hidden treasures might still exist unnoticed, and another especially exciting category involves off-center strikes where the coin blank was improperly positioned during striking, resulting in missing portions of the design and dramatic blank areas along the edges, and collectors love these errors because they are immediately visible and visually striking, especially when the date remains fully visible despite the off-center design, and if a rare 1981 D1 cent coin. Today we are uncovering the fascinating mystery surrounding the legendary 1981 D Lincoln 1 cent coin, a tiny penny that many collectors believe could potentially be worth an astonishing $288 million because of rare errors, strange minting flaws, mysterious production mistakes, and incredible possibilities that transformed what looks like an ordinary coin into one of the most talked about modern treasures in the entire world of coin collecting, and if you think a single penny could never be worth more than luxury mansions, private jets, or giant business empires, then prepare yourself for one of the most unbelievable stories in numismatic history, because hidden among the billions of pennies produced in the early 1980s may exist a handful of coins so rare and unusual that collectors across the world continue searching for them decades later, hoping to uncover the next life-changing discovery hiding in plain sight, and the 1981 D penny has become legendary among treasure hunters because the Denver Mint produced massive numbers of Lincoln cents during a period when mint machinery was working at incredible speeds, and whenever production reaches those levels, the chances for mistakes, die failures, and unusual minting errors increase dramatically, creating opportunities for rare coins to accidentally escape into circulation unnoticed. And that possibility is what keeps collectors fascinated by the 1981 D penny because somewhere out there a rare example with extraordinary errors could still be sitting inside a forgotten jar, an inherited collection, a dusty coin album, or even mixed into everyday pocket change waiting for the moment someone finally recognizes its true importance. And one of the biggest reasons collectors are obsessed with this coin involves the possibility of rare double-die varieties where parts of the design appear duplicated because of mistakes during die creation, causing the lettering, numbers, and Lincoln portrait to show unusual doubling under magnification, and double-die pennies are among the most famous and valuable mint errors in American coin collecting history because they are true mint-made varieties rather than simple damage occurring after production, and collectors carefully inspect 1981 pennies looking for signs of doubling on the words Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date because even small but noticeable doubling can dramatically increase the value of a coin, and some experts believe. Undiscovered double-die varieties from 1981 may still exist because billions of coins were struck that year and only a tiny percentage have been carefully studied under high magnification, and this possibility creates enormous excitement among collectors because the discovery of a previously unknown double-die variety could instantly become major news in the numismatic world. And another fascinating possibility surrounding the 1981 penny involves transitional metal and wrong planchet errors, because the early 1980s represented a critical period in Lincoln cent history when the United States Mint was preparing for changes in penny composition due to rising copper prices, and during transitional periods like this, the possibility always exists that experimental planchets, leftover blanks, or incorrect metal discs accidentally entered the production process, creating coins that should never officially exist, and collectors constantly weigh and inspect 1981 pennies searching for unusual examples with incorrect weight, strange coloration, or unexpected metal properties that could indicate rare composition errors, because even a tiny variation in metal content can transform an ordinary penny into a once-in-a-lifetime rarity, and if a 1981 penny were ever discovered struck on an experimental or incorrect planchet while also displaying dramatic minting errors, its value could become astronomical because collectors place enormous premiums on coins representing impossible mint mistakes. And another reason the 1981 penny has captured so much attention involves off-center strike errors where the coin blank was improperly positioned during striking, causing part of the design to be missing while blank metal appears along one edge of the coin, and these errors are especially popular among collectors because they are dramatic, easy to recognize, and visually fascinating, particularly when the date remains fully visible despite the off-center strike, and if a rare 1981 penny combined a dramatic off-center strike with doubling, die cracks, or unusual composition, its uniqueness could make it one of the most valuable Lincoln cents ever discovered, and collectors also search for broad strike errors where the retaining collar failed during the striking process, allowing the coin to spread outward unnaturally and creating oversized or distorted shapes unlike normal pennies. And broad-struck coins with sharp details are highly collectible because they clearly reveal the mechanical failure that occurred during production, and the more dramatic and unusual the error, the greater the excitement among collectors searching for one-of-a-kind pieces, and die clash errors also play a major role in the legend surrounding the 1981 penny because these errors occur when the front and back dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving ghost-like impressions and mysterious marks hidden within the design, and strong die clashes can create fascinating visual anomalies that advanced collectors study carefully because they provide evidence of the intense forces involved inside minting presses, and if a dramatic die clash penny from 1981 also displayed additional errors such as doubling or die cracks, collectors would likely consider it a major rarity worth enormous amounts of money. And another category that excites collectors involves die cracks and cuds where damaged dies create raised lines, blobs, or missing sections on the coin surface, and some late-stage die failures become so severe that coins appear distorted, broken, or partially melted, creating unique appearances unlike any ordinary penny, and because every damaged die evolves differently over time, certain error coins become completely unique, making them especially desirable among collectors who value rarity above all else. And one of the most fascinating aspects of the 1981 penny story is that modern coins are often ignored by ordinary people, meaning valuable examples can remain hidden for decades before anyone notices their true significance, and history has proven many times that rare coins have been discovered in pocket change, cash registers, bank rolls, estate sales, flea markets, and forgotten collections long after they were first minted, and this possibility keeps millions of treasure hunters searching through pennies every single day because the next legendary discovery could happen at any moment. And another reason collectors remain fascinated by the 1981 penny is because the early 1980s represented a period of intense economic pressure involving metal costs and mint production demands, which may have increased the chances of unusual minting anomalies escaping into circulation unnoticed, and advanced collectors continue studying surviving examples searching for subtle differences in lettering, strike quality, spacing, and surface texture because sometimes the smallest details reveal the biggest mysteries. And with modern digital microscopes and advanced imaging technology, collectors today can study coins in greater detail than ever before, meaning previously overlooked varieties may eventually gain recognition as important rarities, and online coin collecting communities have made the search even more exciting because collectors from around the world can instantly share discoveries, compare unusual examples, and discuss mysterious 1981 pennies that might represent previously unknown varieties. And every time a strange-looking penny appears online, excitement spreads rapidly as experts and treasure hunters debate whether the coin could be a major discovery, and this constant possibility of uncovering hidden treasures keeps the legend of the 1981 penny alive year after year. And the condition of the coin also plays an enormous role in determining value because collectors pay the highest prices for examples preserved in near-perfect mint state grades with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal wear, and professional grading companies authenticate and evaluate these coins carefully because condition can mean the difference between a coin worth a few dollars and a coin worth a fortune, and this is why many collectors search unopened bank rolls and carefully stored collections hoping to find untouched 1981 pennies that survived decades without damage, because discovering an extraordinary mint error in pristine condition could instantly create headlines throughout the numismatic world. And although the idea of a penny reaching values near $288 million may sound unbelievable to ordinary people, the world of elite coin collecting has repeatedly shown that wealthy collectors are willing to spend incredible fortunes on one-of-a-kind rarities with fascinating histories and impossible minting stories, because they are not simply buying metal. They are buying mystery, prestige, historical significance, and the thrill of owning something almost nobody else can ever possess. And the 1981 penny perfectly captures that dream because it represents the idea that unimaginable wealth could still be hiding inside the smallest and most overlooked objects in everyday life, and perhaps somewhere right now a rare 1981 Lincoln cent with extraordinary errors and unbelievable characteristics is sitting unnoticed in an old coffee can, a forgotten piggy bank, or a simple handful of spare change waiting for the lucky person who will finally recognize its importance. And if that moment ever comes, the discovery could instantly become one of the greatest modern coin stories ever told, proving once again that even a tiny 1-cent coin can hold mysteries valuable enough to capture the imagination of the entire world and inspire generations of collectors to keep searching for hidden fortunes hiding in plain sight. Next, 1975 1-cent coin. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating modern coin legends ever discussed among collectors, the mysterious 1975 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a penny that many treasure hunters and numismatic enthusiasts believe could potentially be worth an astonishing $284 million due to rare minting errors, unusual production mistakes, and extraordinary combinations of anomalies that transformed what appears to be a simple copper-colored cent into one of the most talked-about speculative coins in modern collecting history. And if you have ever ignored a penny sitting in your hand, tossed coins into a jar without thinking, or passed over loose change on the ground, this story may completely change how you look at every single cent you encounter, because hidden within billions of coins produced during the mid-1970s may be a tiny number of extraordinary examples that contain mint errors so rare and unusual that collectors around the world continue searching for them even decades later, hoping to discover a coin that could rewrite their entire life story. And the 1975 penny has become part of this legendary category because the Denver Mint was producing enormous quantities of Lincoln cents during that era at extremely high speeds, and whenever the mint operates under heavy production pressure, even small mechanical issues can lead to fascinating mint errors that escape into circulation unnoticed, and over time those unnoticed errors become the focus of collectors who understand that rarity is everything in the world of coins, because even the smallest production mistake can transform a common cent into a highly valuable collectible, and one of the biggest reasons the 1975 penny is surrounded by so much speculation is the possibility of rare double-die varieties where the design appears duplicated due to errors during the creation of the coin die itself, causing visible doubling on the lettering, date, or portrait of Abraham Lincoln, and true double-die coins are among the most famous and valuable mint errors in United States coinage because they are created at the die manufacturing stage and affect every coin struck from that die, making them official mint varieties rather than post-mint damage, and collectors studying 1975D pennies often examine them under magnification searching for doubling on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date because even slight but clear doubling can significantly increase the value of a coin, and some researchers believe that unknown or undocumented double die varieties from 1975D may still exist because billions of pennies were produced that year and only a small fraction have ever been carefully analyzed by experts, and this creates a constant sense of excitement among collectors who believe that major discoveries could still be waiting in ordinary circulation. And another fascinating area of speculation involves wrong planchet and transitional metal errors, because during the 1970s the United States Mint was actively experimenting with different materials and dealing with rising metal costs, and in such environments it is always possible that experimental blanks, leftover planchets from other denominations, or unusual metal compositions accidentally entered the production line, resulting in coins that should never officially exist, and collectors constantly inspect 1975D pennies for unusual weight differences, strange coloration, or non-standard metallic properties that might indicate rare composition errors, because even a tiny deviation from standard copper-plated zinc characteristics can signal an extraordinary mint mistake, and if a genuine 1975D penny were discovered struck on an incorrect or experimental planchet while also displaying additional minting errors such as doubling or off-center striking, its rarity would increase dramatically because multi-error coins are among the most desirable in the entire hobby, and collectors often consider such combinations to be once-in-a-lifetime discoveries, and another category of mint error that fuels interest in the 1975D penny involves off-center strikes where the coin blank was misaligned during the striking process, resulting in part of the design being missing while blank metal appears along one edge. And these dramatic visual errors are highly collectible because they clearly show something went wrong during production and are immediately recognizable even without specialized equipment. Especially when the date remains visible and allows the coin to be identified despite its unusual appearance, and if a 1975D penny with a strong off-center strike were also found with doubling or die cracks, its value potential could increase significantly because collectors place enormous importance on visually dramatic and multi-layered mint errors. And broad strike errors are another fascinating possibility where the retaining collar failed during production, allowing the coin to spread outward unnaturally and lose its normal circular shape, creating oversized and distorted coins that immediately stand out from regular pennies, and broad-struck coins with strong details are especially desirable because they preserve the design while clearly showing a minting malfunction, and another area that excites collectors involves die clashes, which occur when the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet between them, leaving faint ghost-like impressions of one side of the design on the other, and these subtle yet fascinating errors reveal the intense mechanical forces inside minting presses and are highly studied by advanced collectors who track die progression over time, and if a dramatic die clash 1975D penny were found combined with other errors such as cracks or doubling, it could become a highly significant variety in the error coin community. And die cracks and cuds also play a major role in the fascination surrounding this coin because as mint dies wear down under constant pressure, they begin to crack and break, creating raised lines, missing design areas, or blob-like features on the coin surface, and each stage of die deterioration produces unique patterns that can make coins highly collectible depending on how dramatic the error becomes. And in extreme cases entire sections of the coin design can be missing or distorted in ways that make the coin visually striking and unique, and collectors often classify these late-stage die errors carefully because each one tells a story about the life cycle of a working mint die, and one of the most compelling reasons the 1975D penny remains so intriguing is because modern coins are often overlooked by the general public, meaning rare errors can remain hidden for decades before being identified by specialists. And history has shown many times that valuable coins can circulate unnoticed for years before being discovered in ordinary places such as bank rolls, inherited collections, estate sales, or simple jars of spare change, and this creates a powerful sense of possibility because anyone could potentially discover a rare coin without needing special equipment or insider knowledge, just careful observation and attention to detail. And collectors often emphasize that the difference between an ordinary penny and a valuable rarity can sometimes come down to a tiny detail such as doubling barely visible under magnification, an unusual edge, or a slight difference in color or weight, And advanced numismatists spend years learning how to distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage because only true mint errors carry significant value in the collector market, and the condition of a coin also plays a crucial role in determining its worth because coins preserved in near-perfect mint state condition with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal marks are significantly more valuable than worn examples, and professional grading services evaluate and certify rare coins to ensure authenticity and condition accuracy, which greatly influences market prices and collector demand, and many treasure hunters search through unopened rolls of pennies from banks or carefully preserved old collections hoping to discover untouched 1975 D cents that have never been circulated heavily, because finding a rare error in pristine condition could instantly elevate its significance and value in the numismatic world, and although the idea of a 1975 D penny being worth $284 million may sound extreme or unbelievable, the coin collecting world has repeatedly demonstrated that extraordinary values are possible when rarity, demand, historical significance, and uniqueness combine in a single coin, because collectors are not simply buying currency, they are buying history, mystery, rarity, and exclusivity. And in that world a coin with a truly unique story can reach astonishing levels of value, and the 1975 D penny continues to fascinate collectors because it represents the idea that even a modern-looking coin could hold secrets waiting to be discovered, and somewhere right now a rare example may still be hidden in circulation, in storage, or in a forgotten collection waiting for the moment someone finally recognizes its extraordinary importance, and if such a discovery ever happens it could instantly become one of the most legendary modern coin finds in history, proving once again that even the smallest penny can carry mysteries powerful enough to capture the imagination of collectors around the entire world and inspire generations of treasure hunters to keep searching for hidden fortunes in everyday life. Next, 1986 1-cent coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coin mysteries ever discussed among collectors, the legendary 1986 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a penny that many treasure hunters and numismatic enthusiasts believe could potentially be worth an astonishing $280 million due to rare minting errors, unusual production mistakes, and extraordinary combinations of anomalies that may have transformed what appears to be a completely ordinary coin into one of the most talked about speculative treasures in modern coin collecting, and if you have ever dismissed a penny as worthless or ignored loose change sitting in a jar, this story may completely change how you think about every single coin you encounter because the truth is that even the most modern coins can hide rare and life-changing secrets within their tiny details. And the 1986 penny has become part of that growing legend because it was produced during a time when the United States Mint was operating at extremely high efficiency with massive production numbers, advanced high-speed presses, and continuous output that sometimes created conditions where rare minting mistakes could slip through unnoticed, and while billions of 1986 pennies were struck for circulation, collectors believe that a very small number may contain extraordinary combinations of mint errors that were never intended to exist and may have gone unnoticed for decades, and that possibility is what fuels the excitement surrounding this coin because in the world of numismatics rarity is everything, and even a single unusual coin can become the center of global attention if it represents something unique or previously unknown, and one of the most discussed possibilities involving the 1986 penny is the existence of strong double die errors where the design appears duplicated due to mistakes during the creation of the master die, causing visible doubling in the lettering, date, or portrait of Abraham Lincoln, and true doubled die coins are highly valued because they are created at the die manufacturing stage and are considered official mint varieties rather than post-production damage, and collectors carefully examine 1986 pennies under magnification searching for doubling on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date itself because even subtle doubling can dramatically increase a coin's collectible value, especially when the doubling is strong, clear, and well separated, and some numismatic researchers believe that undiscovered double die varieties from 1986 may still exist because the mint produced such enormous quantities of pennies that year that only a small portion have ever been carefully inspected by specialists, and this creates an ongoing sense of mystery because it means valuable discoveries could still be waiting in everyday circulation. And another major area of speculation involves wrong planchet and transitional metal errors, because even though 1986 was part of a relatively stable period in penny composition, the minting process still involved multiple supply chains, metal blanks, and production stages, and whenever complex industrial systems are involved there is always the possibility of accidental mix-ups, such as foreign planchets entering the production line, experimental blanks being tested, or leftover materials from other coin programs being struck by mistake. And collectors constantly weigh and analyze 1986 pennies looking for unusual differences in weight, color, or magnetic response, because even slight variations can indicate that a coin was struck on an incorrect or experimental metal blank, and if a 1986 penny were discovered struck on the wrong planchet while also displaying strong minting errors such as doubling or off-center striking, its rarity would increase exponentially because multi-error coins are among the most valuable categories in numismatics due to their extreme uniqueness and historical significance. And another fascinating possibility that keeps collectors interested in the 1986 penny is the existence of off-center strike errors where the coin blank was not properly positioned inside the collar during striking, resulting in a portion of the design being missing while blank metal appears on one side of the coin, and these errors are especially popular because they are visually dramatic and easy to identify even without specialized equipment, especially when the date remains visible, allowing the coin to still be properly classified. And a 1986 penny with a strong off-center strike combined with doubling or die cracks would be considered highly collectible because it represents multiple minting mistakes occurring simultaneously, and broad strike errors are another category that adds to the fascination surrounding this coin because they occur when the restraining collar fails during striking, allowing the coin to spread outward and lose its normal circular boundary, resulting in an oversized and distorted appearance that immediately stands out compared to regular pennies. And collectors often value broad strikes because they clearly demonstrate a minting failure while still preserving most of the original design details. And another highly interesting category involves die clashes where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, causing faint impressions of one side of the design to appear on the other side of the coin, and these ghost-like impressions are studied carefully by advanced collectors because they reveal the intense mechanical forces inside minting presses, and a 1986 penny with a strong die clash combined with other errors would be considered a remarkable discovery in the error coin community. And die cracks and cuds also play a significant role in the story of this coin because minting dies eventually wear out under constant pressure and begin to crack or break, creating raised lines, missing design sections, or blob-like formations on the surface of the coin, and each stage of die deterioration creates unique patterns that can make coins highly collectible depending on how dramatic the failure becomes, and in extreme cases entire portions of the design can appear missing or distorted, giving the coin a completely unusual appearance that makes it stand out from normal circulation pieces. And collectors study these progressive die states carefully because they provide insight into how long a particular die was used and how it failed over time. And one of the most fascinating aspects of the 1986 penny mystery is that modern coins are often overlooked by the general public, meaning that rare and valuable examples can circulate unnoticed for decades before anyone realizes their importance, and history has repeatedly shown that valuable coins can be discovered in the most ordinary places such as coin rolls from banks, old piggy banks, estate collections, garage sales, or even loose change forgotten in drawers, and this creates a powerful sense of excitement among collectors because it means anyone could potentially find a rare coin without needing special tools or insider access, and this accessibility is one of the main reasons modern coin hunting remains so popular because the possibility of discovering something extraordinary is always present, and collectors often emphasize that the difference between a common penny and a valuable rarity can sometimes come down to extremely small details such as microscopic doubling, unusual strike alignment, or subtle differences in surface texture or weight, and experienced numismatists spend years learning how to identify authentic mint errors because only genuine mint-made mistakes carry significant value, while post-mint damage or alterations are generally not considered valuable. And this careful analysis is what separates casual collectors from serious treasure hunters, and the condition of a coin also plays a crucial role in determining its value because coins preserved in mint state condition with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal wear are far more desirable than heavily circulated examples, and professional grading services evaluate rare coins under strict standards to ensure authenticity and assign quality grades that directly influence market value. And many collectors search through unopened rolls of pennies or carefully preserved collections from the 1980s hoping to find untouched 1986 cents that have remained in pristine condition since minting, because discovering a rare error coin in flawless condition could significantly increase its importance and value within the numismatic world, and although the idea of a 1986 penny being worth $280 million may sound extreme or speculative, the world of rare coins has repeatedly proven that extraordinary values are possible when rarity, demand, historical significance, and uniqueness align in a single specimen, because collectors are not simply purchasing currency, they are purchasing history, mystery, rarity, and exclusivity, and in that world a coin with a truly unique combination of errors can reach astonishing levels of value, and the 1986 penny continues to capture the imagination of collectors because it represents the possibility that even a modern coin could hold hidden secrets waiting to be discovered. And somewhere right now there may still exist a 1986 Lincoln cent with extraordinary minting errors hidden inside an old collection, a forgotten jar, or a roll of coins sitting untouched for decades, waiting for the moment someone finally recognizes its true significance, and if such a discovery ever occurs it could instantly become one of the most legendary modern coin finds in history, proving once again that even the smallest penny can hold mysteries powerful enough to inspire treasure hunters around the world and remind everyone that extraordinary value can sometimes be hidden in the most ordinary places. Last 1983 1-cent coin. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating modern coin mysteries ever discussed among collectors, the legendary 1983 Lincoln 1-cent coin, a penny that many treasure hunters and numismatic experts believe could potentially be worth an astonishing $277 million due to rare minting errors, unusual production mistakes, and extraordinary combinations of anomalies that may have transformed what appears to be a completely ordinary coin into one of the most talked about modern treasures in coin collecting history. And if you have ever ignored a penny in your pocket, tossed loose change into a jar, or walked past coins on the ground without a second thought, this story may completely change the way you look at every single cent you encounter, because the truth is that even modern coins can hide extraordinary secrets within their smallest details. And the 1983 penny has become one of the most mysterious and highly discussed coins in the numismatic world because it was produced during one of the most important transitional periods in United States penny history, a year when the composition of the Lincoln cent had already shifted from mostly copper to copper-plated zinc, creating a new era of coin production that introduced different materials, different striking characteristics, and new possibilities for minting errors that had never existed before. And during this transition the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies under high-speed industrial conditions where machines operated continuously, dies wore down quickly, and quality control systems were under constant pressure to maintain production output, and whenever such extreme production environments exist, the possibility of rare minting mistakes increases significantly, and collectors believe that hidden among the massive output of 1983 pennies may be extraordinary examples with unique combinations of errors so rare that they could be worth enormous amounts of money if ever confirmed and authenticated. And one of the most famous and widely discussed possibilities involving the 1983 penny is the existence of transitional composition errors where coins were struck on the wrong type of metal planchet, because 1983 was one of the early years where copper-plated zinc pennies were being fully implemented. And during any major transition period in minting history there is always the possibility that leftover copper planchets from earlier production or experimental blanks may have accidentally entered the striking process, creating coins that should not have officially existed in circulation, and collectors are constantly fascinated by this possibility because a genuine 1983 penny struck on a 95% copper planchet instead of zinc would represent a major mint error, especially if confirmed by weight analysis showing a significantly heavier coin than standard post-1982 cents, and this kind of wrong planchet error is one of the most valuable categories in numismatics because it represents a direct failure in mint logistics and material separation systems, and another fascinating aspect of the 1983 penny mystery involves the existence of rare double die varieties where the design appears duplicated due to errors in the creation of the working dies, causing visible doubling on letters, numbers, or Lincoln's portrait. And true double die coins are highly respected in the coin collecting world because they originate during the die manufacturing process and are not caused by post-mint damage, and collectors carefully inspect 1983 pennies under magnification searching for doubling on Liberty, Indiana God We Trust, and the date itself because even subtle doubling can indicate a significant mint variety that may be worth far more than face value. And some numismatic researchers believe that undiscovered double die varieties from 1983 may still exist because billions of coins were produced and only a small fraction have been thoroughly examined by experts using modern imaging technology, and this creates an ongoing sense of mystery because it means valuable discoveries could still be hidden inside ordinary circulation. And another important category of mint error that adds to the legend of the 1983 penny involves off-center strikes where the coin blank was not properly aligned inside the collar during striking, resulting in part of the design being missing while blank metal appears along one side of the coin, and these errors are visually dramatic and highly collectible because they clearly show something went wrong during production, especially when the date remains visible allowing identification of the coin. And a 1983 penny with a strong off-center strike combined with other errors such as doubling or die cracks would be considered extremely rare because multiple mint mistakes occurring on a single coin dramatically increase uniqueness and collector demand, and another fascinating possibility involves broad strike errors where the restraining collar fails during the striking process, allowing the coin to expand outward beyond its normal diameter and lose its standard circular edge definition, creating oversized and distorted coins that immediately stand out from regular circulation pennies. And collectors often value broad strikes because they preserve the full design while clearly demonstrating a mechanical failure inside the minting press, and another category that contributes to the fascination of the 1983 penny involves die clashes where the obverse and reverse dies strike each other without a planchet in between, leaving faint ghost-like impressions of one design on the opposite side of the coin, and these subtle but fascinating errors are studied carefully by advanced collectors because they reveal the intense forces involved in minting and the momentary failures that can occur during production. And a 1983 penny with a strong die clash combined with other visible mint errors could become a highly desirable collector piece because multi-error coins are extremely rare and often one of a kind, and die cracks and cuds also play a major role in the mystery of this coin because mint dies eventually wear out under continuous pressure and begin to crack or break, creating raised lines, missing design elements, or blob-like formations on the surface of the coin, and each stage of die deterioration produces unique patterns that can turn ordinary pennies into highly collectible error coins depending on how severe the damage becomes, and in extreme cases entire sections of the coin design may appear missing or distorted, creating visually striking pieces that stand out immediately from normal coins. And collectors often study these progressive die states carefully because they provide insight into the life cycle of minting equipment and the mechanical stress involved in high-volume coin production, and one of the most compelling reasons the 1983 penny continues to attract so much attention is because modern coins are frequently overlooked by the general public, meaning rare and valuable examples can circulate unnoticed for decades before anyone realizes their importance, and history has proven many times that valuable coins can be discovered in the most ordinary places such as bank rolls, inherited collections, estate sales, garage drawers, or jars of forgotten change, and this possibility creates a powerful sense of excitement among collectors because it means anyone could potentially discover a rare coin without needing special access or expensive equipment, and all it takes is careful observation and patience to examine coins in detail, and collectors often emphasize that the difference between an ordinary penny and a highly valuable rarity can sometimes come down to extremely small details such as microscopic doubling, unusual surface texture, weight differences, or subtle strike anomalies, and experienced numismatists spend years learning how to distinguish genuine mint errors from post-mint damage because only authentic mint-created errors carry significant collector value, and this careful study is what separates casual hobbyists from serious treasure hunters, and condition also plays a major role in determining value because coins preserved in mint state condition with strong luster, sharp details, and minimal wear are significantly more valuable than heavily circulated examples, and professional grading. Companies authenticate and evaluate rare coins under strict standards to ensure accuracy and market confidence, and many collectors search through unopened bank rolls or carefully preserved collections from the early 1980s hoping to find untouched 1983 pennies that have remained in excellent condition since they were minted, because discovering a rare mint error in pristine condition could dramatically increase its value and importance in the numismatic market, and although the idea of a 1983 penny reaching a valuation of $277 million may sound extreme or speculative, the world of rare coin collecting has repeatedly shown that extraordinary values are possible when rarity, demand, historical significance, and uniqueness combine in a single specimen, because collectors are not simply buying currency, they are buying rarity, history, mystery, and exclusivity. And in that world a coin with a truly unique combination of mint errors can achieve astonishing levels of value, and the 1983 penny continues to fascinate collectors because it represents the idea that even a modern everyday coin could contain hidden secrets waiting to be discovered, and somewhere right now there may still exist a 1983 Lincoln cent with extraordinary minting errors hidden inside a forgotten collection, an old jar of coins, or a roll of pennies sitting untouched for decades, waiting for the moment someone finally recognizes its true importance, and if such a discovery ever happens it could instantly become one of the most legendary modern coin finds in history, proving once again that even the smallest penny can hold mysteries powerful enough to inspire collectors around the world and remind everyone that extraordinary value can sometimes be hidden in the most ordinary places.